Hey, Flutter fam. It is Metamorphosis Monday, and I am back inside the Chrysalis doing my Monday podcast. I am really excited to get back to it. And I have a guest today, Raymond Washington, who is going to be talking to me about life balance because that is one of the things that has kept me from being on this um, platform for a while. So I'm glad to be back with you. I'm glad that you are back with me inside the Chrysalis. I am Chrysalix, and let's get started. Ray, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on? Let me see something. I'm ready to go. Don't mind my background, but it is what it
Can't
is.
hear you yet. I'm
Can you hear me?
actually wondering. Hold on. Let me make sure.
Because I'm here. I'm definitely here.
Double checking to make sure that all this is connected.
Because I can hear you.
Is it the Bluetooth? I think my Bluetooth is like fritzing out. It keeps saying connected, not connected. What's happening?
Let me see if I connect my headset. Maybe that might help.
Aha. I know what it was. It was connected to my phone.
Can you hear
Can
me
you hear
now?
me now? Yes.
Okay, I can hear you. I didn't have a problem hearing you.
Okay, so it was connected to my phone. So yeah, life happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. uh,
Okay. So welcome inside the Chrysalis, which you have to kind of go through a little gauntlet before I can start talking to you. You ready?
yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite butterfly?
I do not. I'm not necessarily a big fan of butterflies, but if I did have to pick one, like the bright, colorful ones, they have like red, green, yellow, that kind of bright stuff. But yeah, I would have to pick something bright like that.
Okay. Can you name a movie that has a talking caterpillar in it?
No, I'm not even going to say that a lot of you know. No.
Okay. What's your favorite dessert?
1 through 5 or just one? Uh,
What?
Now I like sweets. I'm a foodie.
Okay,
If I
you
had
get
to pick,
three. The limit's three.
cheesecake, cookies, and pies.
Cheesecake, cookies. Okay, I'm there with you on the cheesecake.
Okay.
Loving the cheesecake. All right, so now I want you to think about whatever comes to mind. This is the word association. So you're going to just say anything that comes to mind when I say this phrase. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Balance.
Work life,
Keep going.
money, adjustments, um, missing events, poor time management. Um, what else? Inability to get things done. The list go on and on and on.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there because you kind of hit on so many things that I kind of want to address. So let's go all the way back.
I'm in.
What was the first thing?
I said work life.
Okay, so when we have our work life, we only have a certain amount of hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
So we already know that we have this commitment to work where it's what provides the means for everything else to happen. So it's like non negotiable. You have to spend that time.
That's
My
correct.
issue is in spending the time for the necessity, I run out of the time for everything else because it's like not enough time in the day.
I mean, we all go through that. You get 8 hours at work, right? But if you say you travel to work, put an extra 2 hours, whether you be on MTA or you drive, however that may go. So 10 hours a day out of 24, you're at someone's employment, which only leaves 14 hours to 12 hours, somewhere around there, for you to have personal time. You get what I mean? Or home time, home life, yada, 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 whatever you have going on, whether you have a family, whether you're single, you're trying to go out that night, or, you just have a lot on your plate. It doesn't leave a lot
I'm
of
trying
time.
to write it all down. Hold on, wait. You started with the numbers, and I was like, wait a minute. I need to get a piece of paper. Wait. You said how many hours?
If you think about it, most people work an 8 hour shift, right?
Okay.
Either you work an 8 hour shift or a 10 hour shift, depending on your line of profession, right? Nurses, they do 10 to 12 hour shifts. So that's half of the day right there. So if we just want to stick with an average worker spends 8 to 10 hours at work. All right. That's
Okay.
minus travel time. So you have to add travel time both ways. That's why I always say 2 hours. So if you're spending 8 to 10 at work plus 2 hours, that's 10 to 12 hours a day that you're not at your home or wherever other places you could be to do things that you want to do. So
Okay.
when you clock out, say it like this, when you clock out, the first thing you do is either go home or try to run to wherever else you got to go before it gets too late. Because if you get out of work, for me, I get out of work at 5 o'clock. So if I don't get to certain places by a certain time, it's just not going to happen. And I got to figure out another day that I'm able to go and do what I wanted to do when I got off that day. Because if you look at it, let's just say you want to go out shopping and go out taking care of family business, right? Most stores close at what? 7:30, eight
Yeah,
o'clock.
just about. Yeah.
So when you think about it, if they close at 8 o'clock and you get off at 5, and you have to rush home, change your clothes, get out your work clothes, and take either your car or your Uber over to the place where you need to go, then that leaves very, very little time for you to go into the store and take the time that you need to purchase the items that you want. So now you're rushing, so you might forget things.
Yes,
So it's like,
exactly.
let's use the supermarket for a prime example. Let's say you go in there for eggs, cheese, bacon, bread, regular, regular, regular stuff. But the store closes at 8, so now it's 7:45. So now you running in there. You had a plan already, right? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna get bread, eggs, cheese, bacon, milk, breakfast stuff, right? So you grab everything minus the bread and the milk. You get what I'm saying? So you forget the key things. It may not be the bread and the milk, but you can pick and choose whatever you forget. But because
That's
you're rushing.
exactly what I do.
But because you're Russian, you got to think about it like this. The reason why you forgot because your brain is not allowing you to take the time to process because you're just trying to get in it before the store closes. So now that's off balance at home because now you at home, you want to make a bacon, egg, and cheese at home. You ain't got no bread and milk. So now you can make it and put it on a plate, but the kids might want toasted butter on their bread and stuff like that. So now I got to go to the corner store, get a loaf of bread. You know what I'm saying? Because the supermarket is closed. So the supermarket, most corner stores stay open to 10, 12, 11, 10, whatever that time frame. By midnight, most stores are closed less than 24 hours, right? So you can at least go get the bread, but then you out of the you can get bread and milk from the corner store, to be honest. But now you spending more money when you could have got everything in one shot. So then that leaves a little bit of time to prepare the food, to get the food ready, to feed the kids. Like, when is the tipping scale gonna say I want more balance in life than work? It's very, very hard.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that when, okay, and it's like, I get it. I'm not complaining, but it's like, I have to say all of the things that I've been struggling with because, I mean, it's like, it's a struggle. And I want to do certain things. I want to be able to feel productive, but I keep feeling like I have to procrastinate some things because there's other things that take priority.
And
So work is
that's
one
the
of those
key
things
word.
that
Write
takes
that down.
priority. And the
Priority. Write that
key,
down.
the,
Write, write that down. Priority. We're gonna come back to
the
that
priorities. Okay. Wait.
because that's part of the
I'm
problem with
really gonna
balance.
write that down, right?
Now I got you, but that's literally the problem with balance because our priorities are all screwed up. Not necessarily on purpose, but if you're an adult who has a job and have kids and have responsibilities, or you're just an adult who have responsibilities, nobody wants to be in the street. Everybody want to have their lights on, and everybody want to have food in their refrigerator, right? And your phone bills paid and stuff like that. Your necessities, your wants and your needs, that's a whole different issue. But your wants need to be taken care of, or your needs need to be taken care of, rather. Excuse me. So we got to go to somebody's employment to get that, unless we're just entrepreneur and we're just making hand over fist. And I don't need a job. But most people in New York got to have 2 and 3 hustles in order just to make it through the month.
Yes, exactly.
So,
And that is where the time management starts to get a little wonky because it's like you have your regular 9 to 5, or let's say 8 to 3,
mhm,
however many hours that is. You know, me and the math is not as good as me and the ELA. So just
I got you.
whatever those hours were, right? And then you have whatever your side hustle is. So it's like you're trying to make money with this side hustle. You have to invest at least like 4 to 6 hours a day just to see some kind of productivity.
I mean, when you break it down, we have what 24 hours in a day, right? For the most part, 24 hours, right?
Well,
That's one
yeah, I
hundred.
know that.
No, listen to what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's because how
I'm
does
going somewhere
everything
with that. Follow me.
jigsawed?
Follow me.
Okay.
So we have 24 hours, which equals one day, right? Remember, I just said 10 to 12 hours is spent at an employment place that's not your own, right? Which leaves half of the time to focus on your side business, family, personal stuff, whatever that may be. So sometimes you may get off at 3 o'clock and you say, okay, 5 o'clock, I'm gonna just do what I have to do for me. But then you get home and 5 o'clock turns into 8 o'clock, turns into 9 o'clock, turns into shit. I'll do this tomorrow, right? But you have to keep yourself to a schedule to say if these are the things that I want to do. All right, if you want to be uh, an employee and a boss, which means you're an entrepreneur, right? You have to understand that when you get out of work, now you're a boss. Bosses don't have time to get tired, but we have to put things into perspective. So everything is not meant for you to be outside to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, right? You might be planning some things. You might be, putting some things in order, right? So
Yeah.
that takes time. So you have to find that kind of time to plan those things, so that when you start to execute your plan, everything is seamless and flawless based on the time that you are allotted. So if you, let's say for instance, you have a show coming up and you're going to perform, but you need to practice, you need to get your tone right, just to stat and the third, you got to set the time to do that, and that's what you have to commit to, because you don't want to get on stage and look like shit. You don't want to get on stage and not give your best performance because you're tired, because you just got off an 8-hour shift, you done picked up the kids, you done fed them, you done now.
Yeah.
Now it's 10 o'clock and I gotta get ready for the show that's at 11:30, and I haven't had time to
Yes.
practice. I'm in the shower practicing while I'm changing my clothes, and 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Got the car on. All these different things come into play when you talk about balance, work life, and perspective, and putting things in order. So
That sounds more like
everything.
juggling than balance.
I mean, but that's what life is. Life is a balance, but it's also a juggle, because you have to figure out. All right, we some of us wear different hats, and you can stop me if I'm wrong. You're an adult first, right? You might be a mother, sister, auntie, whatever. So those roles matter, right? Then you might be something else to somebody else. You might be someone's husband, someone's wife, someone's girlfriend, whatever the case may be, right? That was 3 roles, right? Now the fourth role is your
Yeah, that was like
entrepreneurship.
5.
All right, but you get
What
you
do
get
you
my point.
count it?
So no, that was 3. I just labeled
Okay.
them. I labeled different things under them. So like I said, you might be a wife, an employee, right? You might be a sister, niece, so that's where you got the different ones. 'Cause I said like a daughter, niece, cousin, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then comes you, entrepreneur. Then it becomes who you are. So there's different layers until you're able to actually focus just on you. Because the reason why I mentioned all those other roles is because you might be saying today I just want to focus on me, and that's the role that I want to portray. But sometimes all those other roles come up in between that. You might get a phone call, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might text you while you're doing something to throw you off your game. Like, it just all depends on what these things are. And that's how the priorities are not given respect to, because now, okay, I was supposed to be in the studio for the last 2 hours. I said I wasn't going to answer my phone, but I saw an alert and looked kind of serious, so I answered the phone. That took 30 minutes to answer the phone call, 15 minutes to talk to the person, 5 minutes to try to get them off, another 5 minutes to get refocused. So that's about 25 minutes. Then now you may have lost a little focus that you had when you was in the studio doing whatever you was doing. Now you got to get that
Mhm.
jogging back. So now that could be another 30, 40 minutes. So now you just done wasted an hour and some change. Remember, time is precious. And you only have 24 hours in a day. So you got to figure out how to cut out the noise when you're focused on whatever project you is, whether it's music, whether it's work, I mean, whatever it could be. Because we have times that we have to focus on things. That's the only thing we need to focus on. So that's where, like the balance comes in. Now I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask you a question. Did you used to go to the park when you was a kid?
of course.
Okay. Do you remember when we were kids? They would have the seesaw in the park, and it took two kids to sit on it. Do you remember the seesaw
Yeah.
where you had
Yes.
it going
And
in
we
the
would have
front?
like four kids on one side and 4 or 5
Yeah,
kids on the other side.
yeah. So it's really only supposed to be one and one, right? But
I
kids are
know.
crazy. But my point to that is, how when you sit on one side, it's like, all right. So imagine if you sit on the seesaw, one side is up and one side is down, right?
Hmm.
In order for that top part to come down, that person at the bottom has to release the pressure so that way you can ease down so that y'all come to an even point. And then when one or the two go on either side, up or down, now someone is at the top and someone is at the bottom. So there's never really balance unless both of y'all work together to balance out the seesaw. And once you have that balance, you can sort of work on both sides to get everything done. But if you always one is up and one is down, there'll never be balance. And that's pretty much a lot of people's work, home life, and stuff like that, because you want to do a good job at work. You want to be
Hmm.
great at home. But if you have other dreams and aspirations, you got to put as much energy into that as you do when you at work, which sometimes is hard to do when you're tired, you
Yeah,
know. So it's just
exactly.
that's just what it is. But I'll be quiet. You can talk. I'm sorry.
No, well, I mean, let's go into some of those side hustles because this is part of where you're saying that you can spend a certain amount of hours for that side hustle and then still get all of the family stuff and sleep somehow in there. And I don't know, you didn't mention laundry in there. Do you do the laundry?
I do. Well,
Okay, so
let's
you didn't
rephrase
even
that.
mention that. That counts as hours.
I said
So
like
we got a few more things to add into that clock. All right. But with the side
no,
hustle,
but before you even go
I
to that,
want
when I say
you,
house stuff, all that stuff actually is in there. House stuff is laundry, cooking, cleaning, house stuff. Everybody know house stuff ain't just one particular thing.
you know,
So,
it takes like 4 or 5 hours to get all the laundry done
well,
from
that's why
put
I
it in the
only
washer
do.
to folding.
Well, for me, I only do my laundry. Everybody else is old enough to do their own laundry. The only person that I have to do laundry for is the baby. So I don't let nobody touch my clothes. So I'm very, very anal about stuff like that. So
Hmm.
now I would help everybody take their stuff to the laundry and whatever, whatever, whatever. But it's on you to get your stuff done. That's why I say everybody dynamics is different. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
everybody in my but there's only one person that can't do laundry for himself, and I can't wait till he can. He's gonna grab the basket and bring his clothes to me.
Yeah.
But
Well, your laundry is like 1 hour and mine is 5 hours because I have
no,
three
my
kids.
laundry by itself is probably still 2.5, 3 hours. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a lot of clothes.
Okay.
Because you also got to understand, like I said, we have different hats and different roles. So I have what you call work clothes, and then after work clothes, if that makes any sense. Because I can't wear
Yeah.
jeans and hoodies. I can't wear jeans and hoodies to work. So I'm supposed to wear slacks, button ups, and stuff like that, right? More business casual kind of stuff. And when I get out of work, I can't wait to throw on a pair of sweats or a pair of jeans and a hoodie because that's what I feel most comfortable in.
Oh, and now you gotta throw in time to change your clothes.
Yeah, that take but a hot second. For dudes, it's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. Hopefully, when you come in, you take a shower and and all that other shit. But it's really just, oh, there go a pair of sweats. Oh, that hoodie match. Oh, there go some sneakers or some boots or whatever, and we good because you're not going unless you're going back out to actually go do something. You're not
Mhm.
necessarily worrying about how pristine you look while you sitting in your house. Does that make sense? Now, if you're
Yeah.
going back out to an event or something like that, then you might want to add another hour into that because you got to come home, really take a shower, iron your clothes, make sure the right outfit fit, make sure everything match, that kind of stuff. But everything has a time frame. Everything has minutes to take to complete, right? So you just got to figure out how can you do multiple things at one time. That's really the key to balance. So you might be in the shower and flipping burgers at the same time.
Now,
That's
see,
impossible, but you get
I
my
heard
point.
you, and then you just went way off the deep end with the burgers and the shower at the same
No,
time.
listen to what I'm saying. I
I was
said
understanding, and then you
no. What I'm
just
saying
lost.
is the reason why I said that because like I said, you might be doing multiple things at one time to get everything done. Maybe that was too bad. Maybe that was too bad references.
Of an
Maybe, but
analogy. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So let's say you have to cook and do dishes at the same time, right? That can
Okay.
happen, right?
Yes, that
Let's
can happen.
say you're doing the dishes and you sweeping the floor. That can happen at the same time, right? So while in the midst of you doing that, you might stop for a second and let's say you had laundry. You might start folding the laundry, take a break from folding the laundry, go back to finish sweeping up and making sure the kitchen is clean. See how you're doing multiple things at one time?
Yeah,
So that
that's
makes
how stuff never gets finished. You
so
don't.
that's basically what I'm saying. So it's doable, but whoever really has the
No,
time to do it.
it's not doable.
No, it
Okay,
is.
so
To
it's,
me, like
I guess I'll
you have to
admit,
look
yes,
at it.
it can be doable, but it definitely goes back to the whole dynamic thing because it's like the kids. The kids make a difference. The amount of
Yeah,
kids you have, the ages that they are,
yeah.
the sleeping arrangements,
No,
how
all that
often
matters.
you get a chance to even wash the laundry. Now, it's like to be blessed enough to have clothes to go a whole month and not have to wash it. It's like
It's a beautiful
great, but
thing.
then you have a month worth of clothes to
Close.
wash.
Yeah.
Like,
And then sometimes that stretches into 6 weeks because you like, oh, I got an extra week. I wait the next week. Or so by the time you do laundry, I've done summer laundry and winter laundry at the same time, if that makes any sense to you. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
yeah.
I forgot I had these shorts in there. Damn, that was from like August. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm
So,
kind of like I'm in that transition where I'm just like
yeah.
layering up on my summer clothes. So it's like I feel a little bit warmer, but I think I need to like bust out my sweaters very soon.
I mean, I always keep like a bin full of my sweaters. So even if it's cold outside or chippy, I can just throw on a hoodie. It's always just to have that. But now winter
I
clothes.
need to get a hoodie from you. I want a
Listen,
grind hoodie. I need a
listen.
whole suit.
All you gotta do is go. Let me see. You get this in the camera the right way. I'm not good at this camera stuff. You know that. I'm good at everything else. You see that? Wash Custom Power at Instagram. Holla at me. Show some love, and I make sure you look good. But back to the regular scheduled program. That's doable. I had to put my plug in. But what it is it's like I don't. For me personally, I don't sleep a lot, right? And people tell me I'm crazy. People tell me like, how do you do it? Um, there's 24 hours in a day. And if you're not up doing something, you're missing out on the opportunity to get things done, right? So sometimes you only have, like for me, at night, when everybody's asleep, 12, 1 o'clock is when I'm able to actually get some peace and quiet to do whatever I need to do. And I shouldn't be sleeping because I got to get up for an appointment the next day, but I'm up to 3, 4 in the morning. I sleep for 3 hours, get up, take a shower, get ready for work, and I'm out the door like it never happened. And I do it every day. Maybe on the weekends I may sleep a little bit more because I ain't gotta necessarily get up and go nowhere, but I'm usually up attacking my day because I was always told by old people, they say when you get up at 10, half the day is gone, or something like that. So and that's actually a
Yeah.
fact. It's like I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and by 8, the house clean, breakfast cooked, laundry prepared. I'm like, yeah, that sounds dope. In 1970, that in 2022 ain't nobody doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're just being honest, But that's dope. It's a good concept, you know what I'm saying? But different times and different eras was people were able to do different things. So you were able to get up and work and get up from 4, then get up and go to work. Some of us don't get off work to 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, depending on whatever your work schedule is. So that's not
Yeah,
going to
that's
apply.
true.
So
Yeah.
and then we don't live in that world where the one person works. I'm not gonna say man or woman. I'm gonna be even, and the other person or the other partner stays home and makes sure the house is clean. We don't. That's not happening nowadays because we need two parents or two whatever. Even if it's one person, that person has to be at work because we live in New York City where everything is super super high. So, everything is at least $1 to $2 more than it was at least 2 years ago, and that's just like astronomically stupid.
Yeah. And that I don't it's part of it is because of COVID.
I mean,
And I don't
eighty
know what
percent
the
of
other
people
part
think
is.
of it. Not. I mean, inflation happens every year, right? So we can't act like inflation doesn't happen, right? But it doesn't
Yeah,
happen
but I
to
mean,
where
like,
like this is a pack of Ritz crackers, right? Think a box of that will cost $3.29, $3.99. Now it's like $5.29, $6. So it's pretty much double the price it was 2 years ago. And I don't buy crackers no
exactly.
more. You understand what I'm saying? Because about
Wait,
$2.
wait. And yeah, you have crackers. Where you get the crackers from?
Well, no, I bought these. I paid the money for these. But I'm just saying, like, to get them on a regular basis, be like, okay, I'm putting this on my shopping list. You know how far $6 can go in certain aspects? Like, I'm
Not
good.
very far. That's the whole point. It's
Nowadays,
like
not very far, but it's just
a
like the
half a
point.
gallon of almond milk,
Shit, forget about it.
and that's it. Like
Forget about
maybe
it.
a couple of fruits.
I went to the store recently to get like just regular stuff from the store. So let's just say shit, shit to cook for the night and like snacks and stuff like that. Usually before you walk in there, you spend a little $25, $30 and you get a whole shitload of stuff. You come out with cookies, bread, milk, eggs, cheese, some shit you ain't see before you walked in there. Like, oh, that's cheap. Let me get that. Now you like, let me just stick to my budget because I don't have extra.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's part of it. It's like right now, all of the foods are expensive, but the ones that are the least expensive are not the ones that are the most healthy for us. So it's like now when we're thinking about creating a health balance in our lives and in our diet and our nutrition, that's something that becomes a challenge because it's affected by how much money we have in order to invest into that. And it's like a
Well,
sandwich. Oh, they got these new sandwiches at Subway, right? But it's like $12 for a sandwich.
now
$12.
I'm not a big coupon dude. Like I pay whatever the price is, unless I get a coupon for like 30%, 40%. I'm using that, but that's just smart. So I had these coupons from Subway. I got a Subway across the street from my house, right? Now they had like 3 Subway sandwiches for like $22. So that was the little whatever coupon. There we go. I walked into the store. I showed the lady the coupon. She said we don't accept that. I said this is Subway's, right? This location does not accept the coupon. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I just bought all 3 sandwiches. But the thing is, they didn't want to take that because 3 sandwiches was more than $22 based on the coupon. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're saying like 9.99 per sandwich, that's $30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now they're losing out on $10 per se. So they don't want to take the coupon because they don't get a lot of business in that area. So
Yep.
everything is up. But the sad thing that's not up is our paychecks. Most
I
of us
know.
most of us who are at an employment, right, may make a certain amount of money, and it's like the money that we make that they say we make annually, not monthly, annually or yearly. Let me say that way, yearly. It could be 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever that amount is, right? but that doesn't take into the account the bills you have to pay, tuition you may have to pay, paying back student loans, making sure the kids have everything that they need. So it sounds good to say, oh yeah, I make 80,000, which I damn sure don't, which I wish I did. But that's no here, no there. But for someone to say, yeah, I make 80,000 and I'm still struggling because I live in New York, it's crazy. You would had
But
80,000.
everything is here. It's like when you're so used to living in New York, it's hard to live anywhere else. You're used to the faster pace, to the
Oh, I can't live
accessibility of
anywhere slow.
things.
That is a
I
fact.
mean, it's so difficult to afford living in New York, but I really couldn't imagine being anywhere else right now.
Um, I'm kind of done with New York, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not. Let me rephrase because I don't want this to go on the air and people think I'm done with New York. But what I'm saying is
What do
this:
you mean? It's live. It's on the air.
I'm gonna retract my statement. I love my city. Yeah, I love New York City. Shout out to Harlem, especially Harlem and the BS, right? But real talk, in order to it seems like in order to expand and do better things and be able to own property, land, stuff like that, you ain't gonna be able to do that in New York, right? So how am I able to provide long lasting legacy and success and monetary value for the kids that I have, or even for the family, so to speak, if I can't expand in my own city? You know what I mean? So it's like within the five boroughs, there ain't no real land to buy up that we can like turn into something because the government has everything already pinched out for what they want.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Harlem has now become the new 42nd Street or 86th Street, however you want to look at it, right? Because they done built all the stores up. Now you see more and more non-black people in the area. I'm just going to leave it like that for political purposes. But it's not the same Harlem that you and I were accustomed growing up and seeing, right? Now everybody wants
Right.
to come to Harlem and live in Harlem. But before, if you
Yeah,
came to
before
Harlem,
nobody wanted to even come near Harlem. Oh my
like, yeah,
goodness.
you came to Harlem for a couple of different things. You know what I'm saying? Now, and we'll leave it PG. But say it this way: people that did come to Harlem that wasn't from Harlem came to see their family, friends, and if you weren't no part of Harlem, you was gone by 8 o'clock because it got real dangerous after a certain time. Now at 8 o'clock, you see poodles outside, you see
Wait,
shorts
they
and
have all of these
hoodies.
nice restaurants with
Yeah,
the
that
chairs
used to
outside and
be
the
other things
lights
that people
and
don't want to attest to. Like that used to be that kind of spot, and that spot used to be that kind of spot. But now because it's a restaurant, it's supposed to be the most popular thing in the world. And if you were an old Harlem guy like me, you walk by certain spots like I know what that used to be. That's not the store that I would want to be in after a certain time. You get what I mean? So
They changed
they
though.
changed the
Not
whole
just
lot.
in
Now,
management, but they gutted out places
yeah, they
and
got they kicked
complete
all of the original
renovations.
people who lived in Harlem, not necessarily Harlem, but owned businesses in Harlem, raised the rents. That's why they were able to do what they did because they raised all the rents to the point where the common black folk couldn't pay that every month, no matter how much they sold. You get what I'm saying? So now you bought them out of their contracts, you gave them some money to say, hey, go away, whatever, whatever. Now you're building these multi-million-dollar properties in these places that we can't afford to live, number one. And the stores that are on 125th Street, some people can afford, but not everybody. But here go the flip side to that. You know how the government is crazy? Because on 125th Street in Lenox, you see nothing but drug addicts and dope fiends. You don't.
You know what? I Okay, I see that. I've gone by several times. Yes, I've seen that.
Now,
But
right
what are you
across the
getting
street,
at?
because right across the street, you have a Whole Foods that's $1 million industry. But y'all don't take care of your neighborhood, but you want to kick everybody out so that y'all can have it. So what I'm saying is the things that we're accustomed to have changed, but not for us. It's changing for everybody else. So now they think how they pushing everybody to the Bronx. But now they building up the Bronx. So we think they're gonna push us out
They
to next.
are the whole the Mott Haven area, the South Bronx. They
Mm-hmm.
have I think like 10 buildings going up and all of them are like more than 20 stories. Like they're tall. They look like skyscrapers on the Bronx side
Mm-hmm.
anyway, but
But
it's kind of like the beginning of a new Long Island City or something like that.
so when we thinking about balance and work life and all that other stuff, all that stuff plays into it. because now you're gonna have to get a certain kind of job to afford the place that you live, that you grew up your whole life. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, think about
And
it.
you know what? See,
I lived here 40
I
years of
went and I
my life.
researched some of these places, two-bedroom apartments, and this is one of the buildings on 137th Street in the Bronx, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two-bedroom apartment. Guess how much it is a month?
2150,
Nope,
maybe 20,
higher,
maybe 25, maybe 25.
higher.
It can't be more than 27.
Yo, I'm telling you, higher. Two-bedroom apartment,
3 grand, just about
higher.
3,500. Can't be no.
$5,000 a month.
But where's it located? And I'm gonna tell you why they charging that.
137th Street in the
Think about,
Bronx in Haven.
but think about how much that has changed. And what you have to understand is they're doing that on purpose. They don't want us to live in these boroughs no more because they see how rich our history is, and now they want to erase our history and create their own. So when you think about it, they doing that. So now we have to work harder to pay bills. So that means we're home less, which destroys the black family because now we're not at home to rectify whatever situations may be happening at home because we had somebody else's job, listening to somebody else tell us what the fuck to do. Along while we trying to get our kids to do what the fuck we want them to do. They like, the fuck you not here? Like, I'm
Like
gonna do
you're
it
never here.
like you always at work. So how you gonna tell me something long distance or on the phone and think that boop, I'll holler at you later? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so
I
it
feel that
creates
completely.
this whirlwind of balance and time and all these other things. So now you got to think about all these other things amidst of trying to get to your goal or whatever that may be in life. So I didn't go off on a tangent per se, but I was just giving different scenarios of why we have to work so hard and why balance is off because we have to keep up. The older you get, the more you got to keep up. And I don't mean like fashion and stuff like that, but you know, there are people that I see get hired at my job that's in a certain age bracket, right? They're not hiring nobody over 40. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe
Interesting.
45.
Okay.
Um, because I just think because when they think you are a certain age, you don't have the same pizzazz or you don't have a lot more to offer. You get what I'm saying? So there's a couple of people at my job that's older than 50, right? I'm not gonna say that, but if you look at the average paradigm, everybody's under 40.
Being older should mean that you would have more to offer. You have more life lived, more experience.
Yeah, but it also depends on the job you do.
Okay.
I go into clients' homes, right? That might be ex-cons, that might have mental health illness, might have a history of substance abuse, and are men, right? I only have maybe 1 or 2 women on my caseload. You know what I mean? But I'm not worried about going into a man's house because I know me. I'm not worried about that.
Okay,
But
so we have to give everybody a little bit of context because when
so
we came in, we kind of jumped right into the whole Chrysalis, and I didn't go over all of the different things that you
yeah,
do.
you did not
So, in
introduce
addition
me the
to,
right way,
in
I would like
addition
my refund,
to,
please. No, uh,
no,
no.
don't go there, don't go there, don't go
But
there.
da. But I do wear a variety of hats. By profession, I'm a case manager. By profession, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a clothing brand called Grind, but I also do other people's clothing, which is under the Wash Cuss Apparel brand on Instagram. Go check that out. Um, Also, I do music, so I wear a lot of different hats. But what I'm specifically talking about is what I do for a living, and people being of a certain age and not wanting to send some. I'm not sending my grandmother out to somebody's house. Does that make sense to you?
Okay,
Because she
I
may
got
not.
you.
She may, in her mind, say, "Yeah, I can handle this. This is that and the third." But what you gonna do when you get a dude 6'4", 280, stocky, and he want to do something to you? You're not gonna be able to really defend yourself. The average person may not be able to
Okay,
defend themselves. You get what I'm saying? So imagine sending someone of a certain age to do that kind of a job. You know what I mean? So,
Gotcha.
not saying that they can't do the job. I want to make that very, very clear. It's not that they can't do the job, but I think of safety and priorities first when I think of stuff like that. Because, that can just not be the case. Now, that could be for a man or a woman. I don't want to seem biased. You know what I'm saying? That could be for both sides.
Okay.
Because most people probably say he's talking about women. No, I'm talking about men too.
I'm talking about everybody.
Yeah, I'm talking about everybody. This is inclusive. So it's inclusive. Um, so those are the things that we have to worry about when we think about life and balance and stuff like that. Well, let's bring it all back together. But that's the reason why I said the things that I said before. But to bring everything back, we're talking about work life and balance. Everything that I mentioned is part of what we deal with, or what I deal with personally at work and just personal life, and just not having enough time to do a lot of things. But I also say that you can do a lot of things if you put the time and the pieces together. So let's say I'll say this kind of example. So I have a lot of clients, right? I won't necessarily give the number per se, but what I do is when I have to go out to go visit them, I group them by the areas that they're close to. You get what I mean? So I may have 4 clients in the general area of Grand Concourse, maybe a few blocks up, a few blocks down, a couple blocks up, whatever. You know what I mean? No more than 10, 15 minutes, whatever. So then I have another set of clients that may live somewhere like on the Ogden side, or something like that, right? So I go see those clients on one day. So what I'm saying is, when you start to package things in small dosages and do those things first, and then go on to the next, it's easier to get a lot more things accomplished. So if tonight is the night to do music and writing, those two go hand in hand. So you want to be able to do both of those. But then you might have to go and do something else that's close by. Like you may have to stop writing and listen to a song because you gotta go take care of a kid that might be crying. Or you know what I'm saying, somebody might need your assistance with something, so it takes you away from that. But you're doing
Yeah.
multiple things for a common goal. So I started writing the song, I started listening to the music, I got some stuff plays down, boom, 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 bet. Now I'm taking care of the kids, boom, boom, bet. Now I can check both those off my list of the 100 things I may else have to do. So this is all I was able to get done today, but both of those things were done. So now tomorrow I'm gonna do something else and something else that are closely next to each other. That's gonna help me get the common goal done. So that's the balance. It's not gonna happen like that every day though, because you're not gonna have the days where you come home and be like, okay, well, you sit down and do your homework, and I'm gonna go in the room and throw on my headphones and listen to music. No, because as soon as you sit down, is dinner ready? What did you buy? What did you make? So you haven't even really got a chance to take off your stuff or anything like that before you get those knocks at the door, right? And then when you
Right.
do get a chance to
Yes.
sit down, it's like, oh my god, I'm fucking tired. Like, but then you got
And
to
it's
put.
like, don't get up. Like, my feet start to swell as soon as I sit down.
I mean, what it is you just have to figure out the balance. And I mean, I don't have the keys to that. I don't have every keys or all the answers, but I just know for me, balance is not easy for nobody, right? There's other things that I could be, well, not necessarily could be doing, should be doing, so to speak. But I made it an option and my goal to be here tonight. That's why I asked if we could push it back a little bit so I could take care of some other stuff before we got on the roll and got rocking and rolling. You get what I mean? So still trying to make sure I accommodate and do everything that I need to do, but I had to push back some things because some other things had to be taken care of first, which is priority, so to speak. So you
Yeah,
see how.
I know. And I completely get that. And that's actually part of me having to figure out time, because it's like having to set up everything and then just make sure that I have all of the stuff I need ready for tomorrow, and
Mhm.
just making sure that that was ready before I started. That was good. And I just needed time to decompress. Like, this whole day was really
We all do.
rushed. Felt like it kind of like avalanche. Everything just keeps moving, and I still need to find a way to stop. So I'm trying to get more meditation in,
Uh-huh.
and um it hasn't been as often as it should be. I try to meditate in the morning and at night, and I kind of get it in the morning, but if I'm running late, then it's completely gone. And it's like being in school, it's always noisy because of the kids, so I have to like hide in a corner in a closet or something in order to be like completely quiet and meditate. Do you meditate?
Uh, I don't meditate. I have my other ways of stress relieving, but I don't meditate. um, Meditation's never really been my thing. I don't have that kind of patience or that kind of time. Just being 100 with you. Now, if I'm at a retreat or something like that, and I'm at an event where I have to do stuff like that, then I've done that. Yes, but to say I'm gonna come home and zen, no. You get what I mean? Just
Well,
not
yeah,
something.
but that's part of the balance too. Like when you say the
That's
whole Zen and the
but that's part of
the
your balance.
chakras
You get what I'm
and
saying? I get that. I believe in all
indeed,
that. But
touche,
every but
fine.
every no, listen to what I'm saying. Everybody has a way of how they decompress. Now, mind you, it might be meditation for you. For someone else, it might just be peace and quiet. You get what I'm saying? It might be
Yeah,
someone might want to do some other things. Somebody want to have a nice drink or two. You get what I'm saying? Or some other things that I won't mention on the podcast. But everybody has their own way of how they decompress. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's illegal, but fuck it. But uh everybody has their own stress reliever, how they decompress, right? Now, everybody can take from everybody and build a piece that makes it work for them, right? Because it could be a little bit of meditation and then maybe a shot. I mean, I just look at things from a different perspective, right? Because everybody's not going to be the same. There's some people who don't drink, there's some people who don't smoke. Their release is the gym, or their release is writing this or doing that. So that's how
yeah.
they decompress. So I can't really say there's one real particular way to decompress. You just have to do what works for you. You know what I mean? Like,
So this is in finding a balance because we have to create some kind of formula here in
I mean,
finding a balance.
I do have a formula. I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to work for everybody, but the formula is one, you have to sit down and see how crazy your life is in terms of everything that you have going on, right? Work, entrepreneurship, personal, family, kids, throw the whole gambit on the page, right? Then after you do that, you got to see how much time it has to be focused on all those particular things. And that, so it's just like prime example. You got to drop the kids off to school in the morning, right? So that's three different kids. Two of them may go to the same school. I'm not sure, right? But so that's two different drop offs, right? Per se. Before you are able to go to work. So that means you have to get up earlier to make sure that they're ready so that you can drop them off and you get to work on time. So that, how many hours is that? So let's say
That's
if
me
it's
about hours.
meaning what time you have to get up to get the kids ready. Let's say 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So
Yes.
let's
No,
say
I have to get up at 4. Yes, I get up
all
at
right. So
4.
let's say you start your day at 4 o'clock, right? So now that means from 4 to 8, you're running, taking care of family stuff before you clock in. 4 hours, right? So now
Yeah.
you don't have time to worry about you per se anymore because you have an agenda. But that's an
Mhm.
agenda that we created because we had kids and things of that nature. So those are things that we have to just accept and deal with, right? So all right, yeah, that's 4 hours. So now mind you, there's 20 hours left. Think about it like that. So 4 hours have already passed before you start your 8 hour shift or your
Why does it
7 hour shift.
sound like you trying to deceive me with these numbers? I
How?
can't.
It's all
I
facts.
can't.
It's all facts. It just don't seem like that because we don't look at it in terms of time or hours. We just look at it as shit to do, shit that we got to get done. All right, so I know I got to get up and do this. I know I got to get up and do that. But if you put a little bit of time into it and say, okay, boom, out of 24 hours, I do have 2 hours. I just have to figure out how those 2 hours can make sense for me to do the things that I need to do in the time frame that I need to do it.
Okay.
So that's where the juggle comes in a balance. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So now, boom, you get out of work at what time? 2:30, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Well, if I stay and I have to be grading papers, then like what, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
Well, no, so the prime time you get off is 3 o'clock. Now, all that extra
Yeah.
stuff, standing graded papers, that's additional based on because you need that time to get that stuff done. Which means in the
Yeah.
8 hours of work, you're doing a lot of other things, which doesn't give you the time to grade those papers. Put that in this pen. We'll talk about that later, right? That's a whole nother issue. So now let's just
That is
say,
the issue.
but look, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 7 hours. 7 plus 4 is 11 hours already gone out of 24 hours.
Okay.
So now, mind you, when you get off work, now you gotta pick the kids up, come home, or the oldest may come home by themselves. You may have to pick up the baby, or you may send them to pick up the kids, whatever. You still have to do something before you get home, whether it's park the car, pick up food, unless you're cooking, all that other stuff. So that may take an hour, hour and a half. You know what I mean? I'm being nice because you never know what parking and stuff like that. So now that is 13 hours out of 24 hours. Then you still have to go home, make sure dinner is ready, make sure the food is prepared, make sure the kids got their stuff ready for tomorrow. That may be another 2.5 hours. So now you're batting in 14 to 15 hours, which only leaves you 9 hours, which 8 is supposed to be for sleep, right? Who sleeps 8 hours, right? And which leaves,
Like maybe 3.
if you look at it this way, that only leaves 1 hour out of 24 hours that you have to do things for yourself. But I challenge you to look at it this way. In the midst of doing your day, there's pockets of time that we have where we can do a little bit of the stuff that we want to do for ourselves. The little
Okay.
pot, like you could be sitting in your car, right? And instead of running through Facebook, Instagram, and all the other stuff that we generally do, that's the time you can be focused on another stuff. Because we can do another podcast on how people waste time on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that other stuff, and then they complain about not having time to do other stuff. So
Yes, we
that's
could.
a part two. But instead of taking that 15, 20 minutes to check your Instagram to see what's popping on Instagram or see who's checking on Instagram or see who's that might be the 15 minutes you need to set some other stuff up and plan some things for the future. Today is not a day I need to be on Instagram. I can wait till I get home to be on Instagram while I'm cooking it, then I'll peek at my Instagram. Or while I may be in the latrine, that's when I can check my Instagram because I need to pass time, right?
You say that, and it's just like, I know I can't be the only person that is like, I can't keep from checking Instagram. It's,
I mean,
it's not only me, like, I
I
have
got
to
told
check it.
today that I'm always on my phone checking shit, but I'm like, that's because most of my work is done. From 9 to 1. I don't even know what the hell happened today because I was in my computer doing paperwork. So I really wasn't on Instagram because I was focused on something else. Now, when I got a chance to check my Instagram, yeah, I'll probably be on it for like 20, 30 minutes. Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But you have to challenge yourself to say, is it really that serious for me to be on Instagram and check my Instagram unless I'm waiting for a response from someone on Instagram? Do you really need to know what
Okay.
everybody's on Instagram? Do you really need to know who's upset today, who broke up with their man, who's going to quit their job? Because that's really what Instagram boils down to is people's life stories
Yeah.
in
Okay.
some shape, form, or fashion.
Okay.
And sometimes that's too much space for me to keep in my brain. I don't want to care what everybody else going through. I don't mean to be like harsh or mean, but when you allow to take in things from other people, now you're taking on whatever stresses they may have, not necessarily intentionally and purposely, but you might reason that might make you angry. But it ain't got
But
shit to
see,
do.
that's another balance that's like that has to be considered
But you
when
got to create that.
you're
You got to
when you're
create
a
it.
content creator. The amount of time that you spend on social media is more like an investment. So it's not like I'm just scrolling through people's stories. I'm like interacting with my audience. I'm creating posts. I'm
But that's
editing whatever photos or adding
I get it.
text and creating videos. That's like that takes time just in Instagram or in TikTok.
Well, when you're doing that, that's you working on your entrepreneurship. I ain't talking about that. There's times that we get on Instagram and we ain't trying to do no work. We ain't trying to be business oriented. We just trying to see what the fuck going on. We want to see what new TikTok trend is out. What
You
so
got time for that. I don't have time for that.
we all have time for because sometimes we all get caught up 5, 10 minutes. Everybody. There was at one point in time I didn't have TikTok. It took me 2 years to download TikTok, and I know why I should have never downloaded TikTok. Now
Oh my goodness, why?
I'm always on TikTok. I don't go to Facebook no more. I go to TikTok. You understand what I'm
That's the
saying?
thing. I don't go to Facebook as much. I'm on IG all the time. It's something about the all the sign-in codes and verifications. It's just like I don't know.
Facebook has
It's a lot.
become
But
so
it's like I have a
dependent.
TikTok account. I just don't do anything on it.
I
I didn't
mean,
know what to do on it.
I challenge you to put this on TikTok. I mean, see,
To put
TikTok
what on
is
TikTok?
this platform, or you take excerpts or pieces from and put it on TikTok. That's how you get more content. So I think we have 55 minutes, right? So let's
Hmm.
say you chop this up and you did different segments or pieces or whatever the case may be, however you're going to do it, right? Although it's live, but once it's live, you can sort of go back and do whatever you want to do. So you can sort of cut the first half and put it on TikTok or whatever the case may be, and monetize it, and find ways to make it work for you because the content is already here.
Indeed, it is.
So
All right, I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see what works. See what works.
the
And
more
you are
content,
so right about the timing. We are just about out of time, so I have to segue into
part two, but not today. We need a part two.
part two. I gotta go to bed. What do you mean,
I didn't
part
say
two?
tonight. I said part two in general, not tonight. We need to do a
You mean
part two of,
another episode?
yeah, another episode. I mean, we can do life balance and then go into some other things. I like doing this. Just to give a different perspective. Oh, one more shout out. Starting January 1st, please go check out Social Work Corner by your boy Truly. Myself, it's going to be a perspective on social work that I do every day, but sort of giving it to simple form so that everyday people can see that some of the stuff I do they actually do, and they can answer some of their own questions. When you can put up posts and all of that other stuff, but more to come later. This was fun. I appreciate you really inviting me on and allowing me to eat my crackers and the cheese and just be myself and stuff like that. I don't normally get to be like that. So this is gonna be different for people who actually watch it. And it's just a good opportunity to have some back and forth conversation with someone who you respect and understand that we have some of the similar kind of backgrounds in terms of like what we do like life wise and personally, kids and family and stuff, but how two people look at it totally different. You know,
Yeah,
um, I just look at life as you have to make the time to get the things done. It's not going to always be the way you want it to be, and that's the part about life. Life is not always going to be pretty. You got to take the good with the bad. So sometimes we complain about the bad, but we don't really often give highlights to the good. It's good to be employed, very very good to be employed. You know what I mean? In New York City, you know what I mean? After the pandemic, right? Very happy to be employed, right? But not so happy with my salary. See the difference?
mm,
You got to take the good with the bad. So I want more money in my salary. I'm pretty sure you can use more money in your salary, but when you're working in the nonprofit sector, it just is not no real money for you. You know what I mean? So it's the life versus balance. 'Cause if I went to the state, Lord believe me, I wouldn't be complaining. But that's the good with the bad. Do I want to work for the state? No. Could I work for the state? Yes. Do I want to go through all of the BS to become a state worker? No. You get what I'm saying? So you got to take the good with the bad. So I can't always complain about the bad without taking the good, and I always can't complain about the bad without taking the good. So if
yeah.
you look at it,
It
if
kind
you,
of wraps it up with balance.
yeah,
We started out with work balance and life balance, and we did nutrition balance and working out, and I like the meditation. I'm keeping the meditation, and
no, I
you
mean,
keep
listen, like,
your ways of, everyone has their own ways of decompressing, which we're identifying that decompressing must be one of those things that we do every single day.
I mean, you
So
have to, and it's the last thing I'll say. We all deal with different people situations at work, right? You deal in the education field, I deal in the human service field or whatever, but we deal with people, places, things, attitudes, and ways of thinking and stuff like that. And sometimes we take that stuff home with us. It's not intentional, but
yeah,
we have to learn how to check that shit at the door because now we have to go into another realm of understanding and justification because now we gotta give the time to our kids, our family, our significant others, whatever the case may be, right? And who wants to be thinking about work when your kid has a problem going on, but all you could think about is what happened at work 20 minutes ago?
yeah, that energy definitely follows you and affects you. It's really powerful, and that's something that we could do a whole new episode on, which we probably will have to because we are out of time for today. I'd
This
like
is.
to thank you for joining me inside the Chrysalis.
I appreciate the invite.
And
I will be back.
yo, you gotta come to the Halloween party. We're having a kids Halloween party,
When is it?
and it's gonna be oh my goodness, October 29th. It's at
I
Broxlandia.
won't be there. I remember what I told you. His birthday party's that day. I won't be there.
Okay,
Sorry. Little Maxie
okay,
turns 1, so no.
all right. No
He actually
worries,
turns
no
1
worries.
Thursday. So little boy's
Okay,
almost
so I'll
1.
keep some excuse me, he doesn't even eat candy. How old is Max?
No, he eats candy. Well, we eat candy.
You
Okay.
eat his candy.
So bring all the candy. Bring all the candy you want.
I'm not
I'll take.
saving a bag of candy for you. The candy's for the kids.
Listen, I have kids. I have a 20-year-old. He's not 21 yet, so we have kids.
We'll tell him to come through to the kids' party. And we have Sukari Raphael. I'm going to be speaking with her about ways that we can stay sanitary during Halloween now that, everybody's going to be out and about. So that is going to be next week's episode when you tune in. Thank you for being a part of Inside the Chrysalis and
Appreciate it.
bringing us back online because it's been
So,
gone so long.
so is this going to be every Monday? Should I be tuning in every Monday now?
I hope so. That's what I'm trying. That's the goal. I declare it. I shall manifest this
Well,
wish.
let's say it this way. Then just cut. We can cut off everything, right? If
Okay.
you want, we can do another set of series where we do 4 more series where we'll do a 5 series part. So we can do this every Monday for the next 5 weeks, and then I will make sure that you get every week.
Okay, so this is saving me time. Okay,
I know.
us being able to go live saves me like 15 hours of editing per episode. You have no idea. Going live is like,
Well, when you
okay,
actually hit me offline, and we'll talk, and we'll figure out the next steps for whatever the next episodes may be, and it's gonna be fun.
all right, okay, cool.
What I will
Thank
do,
you
I don't
so
know
much
how.
for Flutter Fam.
Got you. Now, what I will do is this: I will auction off a hoodie on your show at some point for one of your fans. So we'll talk about that too.
I want my hoodie.
Listen, you have personal
See my
access.
face?
Hit me.
I want my hoodie.
I'm not scared of you. I'm more scared of the baby than I'm scared of you. So it's okay.
Later.
Later.
Yeah, everybody, make sure you check out at Wash Custom Apparel.
I
Thank you
got the
so
best
much.
deals in New York. I guarantee it.
Later, Flutter Fam.
Later.